you are also an immigrant to to the US, right? Tell me about your immigrant journey naman.
Well, I've been coming here in the US since I was a kid. But to actually live here, because I would always find a way to go back home.
Okay.
So my mother would bring me and then go back to my lola again. Now that, you know, my grandmother's passed on over 20 years, it was actually my friends. I really missed my friends. So it was very hard for my mom to just keep me still in the US.
Right.
So I kept going home, kept using my career as an excuse. But eventually, after I married and had a child, my husband felt like, you know, let's try living in the States for now. Because, you know me, I always wanted to stay back home, live in the Philippines, live in Manila. I really like it there. But he wanted to move to LA, and he said he was kind of like he wanted to immerse himself in the American life.
So basically, you put aside your being Odette the singer, Odette the songwriter, Odette the concert artist, to Odette the wife.
The wife and the mother. My son was always sick kasi also. I think the pollution wasn't good for him back home. He was always having some sort of bronchial infection.
Yeah.
So the moment when we're vacationing here, he'd be okay, 100%. So napansin din ng husband ko that maybe, you know, he's better suited in California.
Right. When you look back now, knowing what you know now, to that decision 20 years ago to move here, would you do it?
I probably would still have relented because my husband wanted to. I don't know, being married, I'm not really old-fashioned, like, you know, but when I married, I realized, you know, one has to be at the helm and for the marriage to work. So I relented that.
Right. So now when you look back on those early years, I know that there are some artists like yourself that we know of try to live here, but America is not for everyone.
No, it isn't.
Right.
Unless you're ready to take care of everything yourself. Go to the grocery store, work a day job, which I do. I don't think a lot of artists can survive here on just gigs alone.
So many people, when they move here, the first thing that they have to realize is you have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Parang start from zero, start from blank again.
Not only just zero, parang negative nga eh. You try to crawl your way back to zero and then improve from there.
What was it like for you? What were your early struggles?
A lot. Financially, it wasn't as steady as we would have hoped it would be. The house chores, we all know in the Philippines, we have our maids or our kasangbahay, we have our drivers, ganon. Dito, you do everything. I didn't have a job then when I was raising my kid. I had the job only after my husband passed away. Because I didn't feel like picking up and moving back to the Philippines after he passed away. I don't think it would have been fair to my son
Who grew up here.
Yeah. He's been here since he was 5. So.
Yeah, right. So I like hearing that because that you didn't work when you were raising your child because you were now Odette as a mom.
Yes.
What are you like as a mom?
You'll have to ask my son that. But I think he would probably say I was cool.
Really?
Because I actually played a lot of video games with him. I only had one kid, and of course I was his playmate.
Right.
And his friends would come over, do a play date, and I would be the 4th kid playing the video game.
Okay.
So yeah,
As a Filipino mom with Filipino values, that sometimes we hold it dear, right? How did you raise your son?
Well, my son assimilated rather quickly because he spoke English, and he didn't have to go to any English is your second language kind of course in school. He actually was already reading at the age of 4, so so being in kindergarten wasn't, you know, was a breeze to him, and he was like an A student all throughout high school as well. So, but interestingly enough, when he was in grade school, he had all sorts of classmates that he hung out with. But in high school, it became more Asian, more Filipino, more his Korean classmates, you know, things like that. More Asian. He actually, I think he knows fully well that he's Asian.
Yes.
He doesn't ever say I'm American.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah.
Right. And he gravitated toward that.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
Asians, more Asian friends.
Do you talk about it do you talk about it at home? Did you ever talk about it at home?
We
I
did.
look different.
We did.
I'm
Yeah.
this. I'm we eat different.
When he was in grade school, he would ask, "So what exactly am I?"
What would you say?
I said, "You're Filipino." Like a Filipino descent, but how come you don't look Filipino? He would always ask me. I said, because my dad's American.
You don't
My
look
dad's
Filipino,
white.
right?
Well, actually, he's Welsh. My father was but American born.
Yes,
But
yes.
Welsh descent.
Right. So, what tips would you give the immigrants out there? I know a lot of them, when they watch shows like this, they watch because they want to see. What would you give them as advice?
Number one is perseverance. You have to persevere. Don't let your current situation affect how you're going to deal with your life at the moment. It may seem hard, but there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You know those old cliches? They're real. It's up to you. Things change because you want them to change. I don't know. America, I think, it's real. It's a land of opportunity. It's up to the individual to make things work for themselves.
Right.
Basta hindi ka atatamad eh.
Yon. I think perseverance. Maybe second is hard work.
Yes,
Oo.
yes. Don't be afraid of a low-paying job to start with.
Yeah.
Rise from there.
Yeah, I like
That's what
that.
I always tell my son. Like, you could be starting at the bottom. You don't have to stay at the bottom.
Right,
It's up to
right.
you to rise up.
Right.
Now, if it's not working in that particular job, go find another one.
Right. But I also like that. In that vein, I think we always emphasize this here on the show is also humility.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
some people think, why will I do that? I don't do that in the Philippines.
You see, when I started here, when I started living here, I told my husband, I'm not going to work because I have no skill.
Oh.
I had no skill.
Right,
I mean,
right.
I'm not built to be an office worker. I don't even know how to balance my checkbook. So how am I gonna do that?
Yeah.
So sabi niya, don't worry, I'll take care of the 9-to-5 job, which he did. But after he passed on, I had to learn to fend for myself.
Right.
So
And look where you are now.
I'm not saying I actually succeeded, but
You
at
are.
at least I have a 9-to-5 job that sustains me, and I have my gigs to make me happy.
Right, exactly. Because
Make
that's
my
you want
soul thrive.
hard work and heart work or
Yes,
something like
yes,
that,
a
right?
good balance of that.
Yes.
Yeah.